Okay, today's class will be restorative yoga. So make sure you have some kind of props, bolster, blankets, pillows, blocks, whatever kind of stuff you got. We're gonna start seated today since we'll be spending most of our class laying down. So for now, getting to a comfy seated position. You could cross your legs or have your legs out straight, however it feels good to do that. Let your hands just rest on your lap or together at the center, whatever feels natural. And reaching up through the crown of your head, sitting up nice and tall without straining or forcing. Maybe closing your eyes if you want to. And just start to see how you feel. See how it feels to close your eyes. See how it feels to be at the start of our class today. Taking a moment to name or notice any emotions that are present. Any physical sensations that are present. Without changing anything just yet, notice the flow of your breath. Are there any qualities that you would use to describe your breath as it is right now? Starting to expand your breath, maybe deepening or elongating both the inhales and the exhales. Samavriti, equal breathing, where we match the length of the inhales to the length of the exhales. And this equal breathing, balanced breath is said to bring balance to the body and the mind. If you are feeling particularly tired or gentle, maybe just a soft breath. If you feel that you have any like anger or energy that you need to get out, maybe kind of breathing with some maybe some sound or some oomph. If you would like to set a dedication or intention for today's practice, feel free to bring something or someone to mind. And when the timing is right, let your chin drop down toward the center of your chest. Maybe bringing your shoulders up by your ears and then circling them back and down. Pausing there to feel the stretch on the back of the neck. And let your right ear rock toward the right shoulder, stretching out the left side of your neck. And then back down to the center and left ear toward the left shoulder. Go ahead and rock back and forth a couple of times. Next time you're on the right side, let's pause there. Let your left arm be extra heavy. Maybe kind of swirl your left arm around. We'll bring the right hand up to that left shoulder or side of your neck and just give yourself a little massage or a little tap. Sometimes tapping can feel just as good as a little squeeze. And then switching sides, left ear toward the left shoulder. Let your right arm be a little heavier. Maybe swirl your right arm around for a moment or two. And then bring your left hand up to the right shoulder and side of the neck. Give yourself a little massage. I always forget you can just massage yourself. It's always so nice. Okay, and then coming back to neutral, let's look all the way up, reaching upward with the chin, and then tipping your chin back down toward the center of your chest, keeping a nice tall spine. Let's look up, and then back down. One more time, looking up and down. Come back up to neutral here, and we'll turn the head to the left and then to the right. If you want to add on the syncing of your breath, we can inhale and turn to the left and exhale to turn to the right. Inhale left, exhale right. Come on back to center. We're going to kind of halfway tuck the chin and like pull your chin kind of in so you get like a double chin going on and the back of your neck feels nice and long. And we're just going to hold here. You can keep pushing on your chin just a little bit. Hopefully we're feeling a stretch through the back of the neck. It can be kind of subtle, but this is sort of an antidote to text neck when our head is down, forward and down. We're kind of retracting here. And then release. All right, let's keep going. Let's come on to hands and knees. We'll do a little bit of movement before we get into our restorative. I'm gonna add extra cushion under my knees to keep that cozy vibe going. Let's spread the fingertips out, stretching the palms of the hand and the fingers a little bit here. And then with your inhale, cow pose, lowering the belly, lifting your gaze and tailbone. Exhale, round up through your spine, tucking your chin and tucking your tailbone, cat pose. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Keep going a few more times. Okay, let's thread the needle next. So bring your left hand a little closer to the center of your mat. With your right arm, let's reach up high. Take a breath in here at the top. We'll be here for a little bit. So go ahead and rotate out your right hand, your right wrist a little bit. Maybe bend and straighten your elbow a few times. Circling out the right shoulder as well. And then we'll thread the needles with an exhale, dipping that right arm down and through, setting your right shoulder inside of the head on the floor, or maybe on some props if you've got those handy. We're not going to be here super long though, so you don't have to get into like restorative comfort here. Just taking some nice deep breaths, noticing how your breath stretches parts of you with your inhales. All right, whenever the timing is right, let's press our way on up. Reach your right arm high once more, and then switch sides. The right hand coming more or less to the center of your mat. Left arm reaching up high, circling out your wrist. Bending and straightening your left elbow a couple of times, circling out your shoulder joint with some arm circles. Eventually inhaling to prepare and exhaling to thread. The needle, the left arm dips down and through, left shoulder and left side of your head. Maybe finding props or the floor. One or two more breaths here. And then plant your right hand, rise back up, lift your left arm high. And then come on back down. Let's get set up for a downward dog. We're gonna do downward dog and then we'll get to our restorative. So I feel like it's always good to do at least one. So grabbing some props will make it extra cozy. Using your props here, or maybe taking some time to get into it. Maybe bending and straightening your knees a couple of times here. All right, coming back down to tabletop. We'll meet up in extended child's pose with the knees out wide, big toes touching behind you. And then lowering on down. You could always grab props here too, if you want to have some different sensations. Sometimes it feels nice to bend your elbows and bring the hands behind your head. Just get cozy somewhere. Grabbing extra cushioning. If anything doesn't feel good, you could put a little something behind your knees if you want. You could come down to your forearms. If possible, we want to rest the head on something. So whether your head reaches the floor, you can always grab a block. Take some relieving breaths. If that means clearing breaths or sighing exhales, so be it. If you're facing one direction or the other, your head is turned one way or the other, go ahead and switch the turn of your head. We'll be here for about 5 more long breaths. Even longer and slower for 2 more breaths. When you're ready, rising back up to tabletop. Crocodile pose will be next. So straightening your legs and then lowering your upper body to the floor. Lots of options. Stacking your hands or fists beneath your forehead is always a good bet. Or stacking your forearms and resting your forehead on top. You could add more cushioning beneath you. Or even grab a block for underneath your head. Another little add-on you can do is have just a little bit of height underneath your feet. So this one might take just a little bit of setup here. If you ever, or if you have someone else near you, having someone like lay a blanket over your low back can feel really nice, or if you can manage that. So continue to figure out the coziest crocodile pose you can today, and then go ahead and sink on in. Our focus is just breathing. Breathing and softening your body so you, at least for a few moments, can experience some ease, some relief. Relaxing all of the muscles of your face, your jaw, maybe even feeling like your lips kind of feeling gravity act upon them. Make sure you're not using any leg strength to hold yourself in any which way. Let your legs relax. Let your shoulders relax. With every exhale, increasing the amount of you that's connecting to the floor, kind of melting sensation, softening. We'll have about 10 more breaths here. And if your mind starts wandering or thinking, that's okay. Maybe just invite your mind to come back to this blissful, empty yet full kind of space, this peaceful time just for now. All your worries and your to-do list will come back later. For now, just enjoy a few more rounds of breath and ease. When you get close to the completion, let's take a sighing breath, like an extended sigh, inhaling in your own timing, and then opening your mouth, sigh it out. And slowly starting to rise up here. We'll come up to tabletop as we set up our next pose. Okay, our next pose will have some kind of cushioning underneath. I'll show you here underneath the kind of mid back. So our shoulders have like a little ravine, if you will, to be in. We want to make sure the head is high enough. So right now, I'm gonna add a couple folds in my pillow. It's feeling a little better. And if it feels good to have your legs straight, you can, but restore or constructive rest legs could feel quite a bit easier, perhaps. So toe heeling your feet out nice and wide, and then allowing your knees to rest together. Kind of like to pop my heel, like lift my heels up and like let them land back down in their own way. Maybe picking up your toes, spreading them out, and then letting them relax. Make sure you do have a pillow underneath your head and all the way down your neck. So we don't want to have too much of like a crushing sense through the neck. We want to have more of like an open neck, open throat area. So we're feeling expansive through the chest, expansive through the throat. Your arms could go out wide if you'd like, or you could bend your elbows and rest your hands on your body. You could interlace your fingers either underneath your head or like you're kind of a ballerina, creating like a circle around your head. You are welcome to change positions anytime, but as you may know, restorative yoga is more so about stillness and sticking with the moment, sticking with your awareness. And again, letting all of the muscles of your face soften. Let your props hold you up, trying to let your muscles go on a little break here. The throat chakra or Vishuddhi chakra, the throat center, is said to be blue, represented by a blue color. And the throat chakra can be associated with being able to speak your truth or speak up in situations. Sometimes some people consider like a block in your throat chakra to be like those moments where your words aren't clear, or your words or sentiments get kind of clouded. So for now, with the heart and throat centers open, with every breath, just imagining a clearing, an opening, a balancing of these areas. The breath, allowing fear of speaking your truth or knowing your truth, letting the fear escape bit by bit with each exhale. Taking in this new confidence and strength and authenticity with your inhales. Unclench your jaw. Just a few last breaths. You'd like to incorporate a sigh here before we change positions, go ahead anytime. As you're ready, we're going to turn onto the right side in the fetal position, basically keeping the props more or less as they are. We'll let our right arm now be in this little ravine. Adjust your pillow underneath your head if need be. We kind of want the spine, well, we definitely want the spine to be more or less in like neutral alignment. So like you can tell when my head is too low, it's swooping down. So just do your best to kind of get in some kind of alignment. The right arm straight out to the side. The left arm, we've got options here. Sometimes it's nice, I don't know if it's just me, but just like keeping your arm up in the air, kind of like balancing it up there, could feel kind of nice, getting the circulation just kind of going a little bit here, maybe wiggling fingers or circling out that left wrist for a few moments. You could just snuggle that left arm in towards your body. If you want to open up that left side, you could let your arm come up and overhead. It can also feel nice to let your arm just kind of be behind you. So find something that feels restorative. It doesn't, we're not going for like a big stretch. We're just kind of going for an opening sensation, a relaxing sensation. Now that we're kind of breathing in this other plane here, really letting your belly and your torso be expansive. Let that belly grow large with your inhales and soft with your exhales. And just easing on into the breath. Could feel nice to have something extra between the knees here as well. Just about 3 more breaths here. If you don't feel like moving, just stay right here. You wanna join me in some Feldenkrais method twists? We'll do just a little bit of movement from this position. So stillness or movement, whatever feels good. If you want to, we can stack the left hand on top of the right hand. Pause there just to notice. And then reach your left fingertips farther than your right fingertips. Feel that opening between your shoulder blades. And eventually we'll pull that left hand across your right arm, across your collarbones, and whatever feels like a good amount of opening here. It's going to be different with your props, so just be curious. You could hang out in this open arm twist position or gently close it back up, bringing your left fingertips to your left shoulder and then gliding across the collarbones and all the way back down until your hands stack again. You can experiment with this for a few more rounds or just continue resting in stillness. And then we'll start to think about switching sides. It's completely up to you if you want to turn downward as you go to the right or if you want to go the upward route. So whatever feels interesting to you, you could go to the belly, then the other side, or vice versa. We'll stick that left arm through the ravine this time. Make sure your head is nice and supported on your pillow or whatever you've got here. Let's find a place for that right arm. Maybe letting it just kind of hang out in the air as you wiggle your fingers and circle your wrist. Maybe exploring a few different options. Maybe that right arm wants to come up and overhead. Maybe it feels good just to snuggle up with that right arm, pressing into the pillow that you're on. For me, I feel like rounding my shoulders forward just doesn't feel the best right now. So that's why I'm gonna kind of open up that right shoulder and then let my arm just kind of dangle or kind of wherever it falls behind me. Just feels nice and open for my right shoulder. So go ahead and experiment a little bit there and then see if you can find a nice place to rest. And eventually, either starting to think about doing those Feldenkrais method twists or just continue enjoying your stillness. The timing is right for you. Maybe slowly letting that right hand find your left hand, stacking your hands one on top of the other, reaching a bit farther with the right fingertips, feeling space and maybe even a little stretch between your shoulder blades. And then retracting, pulling that right hand across your left arm, across your collarbones, and whatever feels like an open position for you. And again, maybe hanging out right here for a while, or gently closing it back up, bending your right elbow, bringing the right fingers to the right shoulder, and then sliding across the collarbones all the way back down your left arm till your hands stack again. Stretching between the shoulder blades, reaching that right hand farther away. And then retracting, pulling your hands slowly across your body and all the way open. And when you feel you've had enough here, we'll slowly press our way up from the fetal position. Just enough. We'll slide the props out here. And we are already ready for our final Shavasana here. I invite you to explore some kind of deluxe, comfy Shavasana positioning. I like to have a little something underneath my knees here. And then, of course, adequate height beneath your head. Maybe bringing an eye mask or some kind of scarf or pillow or something over your eyes if you'd like. Maybe letting your arms go out wide. Try tucking your shoulder blades in underneath your body here, and then allowing your hands, your arms to relax into position. Tuning right back into this restorative place. For me, it's kind of like a fuzzy, soft kind of headspace, focused on the breath, just focused on being. Resting, yet aware. Start to become aware of different points of pressure that your body makes contact with your props or the floor. Start to notice any areas that are kind of lifted up from the floor. Maybe tracing the back of your heel, the Achilles tendon. Maybe there's some space between your neck and the floor, or a little gap beneath your armpits or your wrists. Trying not to use any muscles of your face. Let your face just be melty. Noticing the temperature of your body. Do you feel cold or warm or maybe just right? Notice as your belly or kind of your chest or whatever is rising and falling with your breath. Notice that movement. Following the path of your breath. Air may be noticeable at the nostrils or up through the nasal passageways. Down, all the way down to the lungs. And then reversing, following, or imagining the travel of your breath, inhales and exhales. Just a gentle anchor. And please do consider staying here longer, extending your rest, or maybe even falling asleep if that's in your plans. When you are certain it's time to move again, don't force it. It'll just start with the tiniest little movements, maybe even just kind of like moving your tongue or wiggling fingers and toes, opening and closing your jaw, circling ankles or wrists. Eventually rolling onto either side. Maybe taking a little long body stretch first. And turning to the fetal position once more. Take a pause there for a full round of breath. And then eventually ease on up to a seat. Joining hands at heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and be free. And may our own thoughts, words, and actions contribute to that happiness and freedom for all. Bringing thumbs to third eye center. Let's seal our practice in with a little bow forward now. Peace.